Esteemed guests and supporters, distinguished guests, let the video play and then we're starting our conference.
Καπεταναίους, τους είδα με τα μάτια μου να δακρύζουνε, γιατί είχαν κάνει σε ένα βαπόρι σαν και τούτο εδώ.
Many things have changed. Our love for shipping is something instinctive, and we have succeeded in creating a worldwide network of agencies and towing companies, setting as our major goal to satisfy and live up to the expectations of the Greek shipping community.
Είμαστε leaders, η κάθε μία στο κομμάτι της, αλλά και όλες μαζί ταυτόχρονα να παλεύουμε να πάμε τα όνειρά μας ένα βήμα παραπάνω.
νέοι πρέπει και οφείλουν να έχουν όνειρο.
Καλώς και τον Καπταπαναγιώτη τον Τζάκο. Ευχαριστούμε πάρα πολύ, Καπταπαναγιώτη μας. Welcome to the 22nd Navigator 2023, the Shipping Decision Makers Forum. It is a pleasure to address this assembly of shipping professionals and enthusiasts who have gathered here in Athens, Greece, to navigate the change in the ever-evolving maritime industry. But before doing so, I would like to give the stage to our President, Captain Dimitris Vezadakos, and please Captain Dimitris, join the stage. Thank you very much.
Καλημέρα σας. Καλώς ήρθατε. Σας καλωσορίζω όλους στο 22ο Φόρουμ της Navigator. Θα είμαι πολύ σύντομος και θα πω δύο λόγια ευχαριστώντας τον πρέσβη των Ηνωμένων Πολιτειών Αμερικής, Γιώργο Τσούνη, γιατί θεωρώ ότι είμαστε ιδιαίτερα τυχεροί σαν Έλληνες να έχουμε κοντά μας τον Γιώργο Τσούνη τούτες στις δύσκολες στιγμές που περνάμε στη γειτονιά μας. Είναι τιμή μας, κύριε πρέσβη, που θα κηρύξετε την έναρξη του φόρουμ της Navigator. Αγαπητοί φίλοι, σας ευχαριστώ όλους που μας τιμάτε πάνω από 20 χρόνια με την παρουσία σας και τη συμμετοχή σας. Θέλω να ευχαριστήσω τους moderators που θα διευθύνουν και τους ξεχωριστούς ομιλητές που θα αναπτύξουν πολύ σημαντικά θέματα που αφορούν την ναυτιλιακή βιομηχανία και όχι μόνο. Επίσης, ευχαριστώ τους χορηγούς που συνέβαλαν στην επιτυχία του φόρουμ. Ευχαριστώ τις κόρες μου, Δανάη και Χριστίνα, που έχουν συμβάλει τα μέγιστα η κάθε μια στον τομέα της, στη διοργάνωση των φόρουμ της Navigators τα τελευταία 22 χρόνια. Και καλωσορίζω από φέτος την κόρη μου Όλγα, που αφού τελείωσε την νομική Αθηνών και απέκτησε εξαετή εμπειρία σε ένα από τα μεγαλύτερα νομικά γραφεία της Αθήνας, έπρεπε να δουλέψει και αλλού, κάτοχος των 3 μάστερ με διακρίσεις, πίστηκε τελικά να συμμετέχει και να συμβάλλει και στις ναυτιλιακές μας δραστηριότητες. Ευχαριστώ το team της Navigator και της ΚΕΦ. Και βέβαια, δεν μπορώ να παραλείψω να ευχαριστήσω τη σύζυγό μου Ιωάννα, που επί πολλά χρόνια μας αντέχει και κρατάει τις ισορροπίες στην οικογένεια και στις δραστηριότητές μας. Αγαπητοί φίλοι, η Δανάη και η Χριστίνα θα σας πούν περισσότερες πληροφορίες για τα θέματα του φόρου. Τελειώνοντας, θέλω να υπεσημάνω ότι οι Έλληνες εφοπλιστές μας τιμάμε την παρουσία του ο Νέστορας της εφοπλιστικής οικογένειας, ο Καπταπαναγιώτης ο Τσάκος. έλεγα, παρά τις δυσκολίες, κρατάνε πρώτη θέση στην ναυτιλία παγκοσμίως. Δεν είναι λίγο πράγμα. Και βοηθάνε αθόρυβα και σεμνά την πατρίδα μας. Αγαπητοί φίλοι, έχουμε το προνόμιο η σημερινή Ελλάδα να αποτελεί μια νησίδα δημοκρατίας, ειρήνης και προόδου στις πιο απρόβλεπτες συνθήκες που επικρατούν γύρω μας. Για μια ακόμα φορά, σας ευχαριστώ θερμά που μας τιμήσατε με την παρουσία σας. Καλή επιτυχία να έχουμε και στο φετινό συνέδριο. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Captain Dimitri. For our foreign friends, you know that captains, they say the words from the heart. He thanked all the family. We're a big family, you know, as you have seen, but of course, we're all here. And now we will continue in English. Let the video play, and I'm starting my speech. Director for Shipping and the Ministry of Maritime Affairs and Insular Policy, Ambassador of the United States to the Hellenic Republic, Your Excellency George Sounis, Your Excellencies. As we are here today in the historic city of Athens, a hub of maritime excellence, we're reminded of the vital role this industry plays in connecting the world. To all of us who have been working in the shipping sector, the challenges and uncertainties of this complex environment are ever present. We know that navigating the seas of change is not just a metaphor, it's a daily reality. In these challenging times, where the world faces economic, environmental, and political shifts, it is more critical than ever for us to come together, sit around the same table as a community of decision makers and industry experts. Our shared goal is not only to adapt to change, but to actively shape it. At Navigator Shipping Consultants, we believe in the power of synergy, and it is in these collaborative efforts that we find the strength to overcome the obstacles before us. I'm very happy to see friendly faces in the audience, and since we're a family now for more than 32 years, most of you already know our story. But we also welcome new members and embassies this year. I would like to move on with a brief narration of Navigator's story. Navigator Shipping Consultants exclusively represents a significant number of very important worldwide groups of towing companies and shipping agencies in more than 1,400 commercial ports. We introduced them to the Greek shipping community with the aim of creating excellent relationships to ensure, on the one hand, a high level of service, and on the other hand, to achieve economic benefits to the shipping companies, where towage costs constitute, in many ports, the largest part of the berthing expenses, with the basic condition of ensuring legitimate partnership and confidentiality. While we acknowledge the significance of technology in advancing our industry, our primary emphasis remains on the human element. Shipping is a truly global endeavor, and the human factor plays a pivotal role in connecting our industry to a worldwide network. We believe in the power of shared experiences and relationships to enhance our standing in the global shipping community, thereby enhancing the entire industry. During the past year and a half, we have welcomed new members in our towage network, such as Boluda Uruguay, Boluda Panama, Pacific Workboats in Singapore, but also new members in our agency network, such as CNAV Maritime in Malta, SDS Shipping in India, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, and Bangladesh, and Zikni Shipping in Turkey. And more will come until the end of the year. Navigator, the Shipping Decision Makers Forum, has been an annual gathering since 2001, dedicated to providing a platform for discussing crucial shipping matters and catalyzing change when the need arises. The event underscores the pivotal role of dialogue, the exchange of ideas, and the sharing of best practices in preserving our maritime tradition, which keeps Greek shipping at the forefront. For 22 consecutive years, we have remained committed to nurturing and promoting this dialogue. I'm delighted to share that we have achieved a significant milestone by hosting the inaugural Embassies panel back in 2012. Given that shipping is a global endeavor, we were keen to engage the international perspectives and foster a harmonious platform for discussions. Presently, we're honored to have 18 embassies participating in this event. US Embassy in Greece, British Embassy Athens, Embassy of the Republic of Cyprus in Athens, Embassy of France in Greece, German Embassy, Royal Norwegian Embassy in Athens, Embassy of Ireland, Embassy of Finland, Embassy of the Kingdom of the Netherlands, Embassy of the Republic of Korea, Embassy of the People's Republic of China, Embassy of Lithuania in Greece, Embassy of the Republic of Azerbaijan in the Hellenic Republic, Turkish Embassy in Greece, Embassy of the People's Republic of Bangladesh, Embassy of Mexico, Embassy of Egypt Commercial Office, Embassy of the Kingdom of Morocco in Athens, and last but not least, Embassy of Bulgaria. This year, our commitment has extended further as we have hosted 3 exclusive closed events with a total of 500 distinguished executives from across the entire shipping spectrum. Each discussion encapsulated by a thought-provoking hashtag. These hashtags: be the change, see the change, master the change, and today navigate the change, capture our vision of guiding and steering through the transformative waves in the shipping industry. They emphasize the significance of effective navigation and adaptability. Our recent initiatives involve organizing roundtable discussions with our sponsors and supporters and executives from ship-owning and ship management companies, where 7 pivotal topics impacting daily shipping life are explored. These themes include decarbonization, maritime logistics, supply, purchasing and forwarding, smart shipping, intersection of human performance, technology and training, human element, ESG, and finally, know your client. The overarching mission of this year's event is to envision the shipping industry of the next 20 years. We aim to create an international setting where speakers and guests from around the world gather to discuss the challenges and opportunities that the coming years will present. Here I would like to thank the prestigious international organizations and embassies, the International Maritime Organization, World Economic Forum, European Community Ship Owners Associations, French Hellenic Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and the US Embassy in Greece for showing their presence and actively participating in the discussions with an objective to recognize that the future will be marked by experimentation and dilemmas as we navigate the evolving landscape of the shipping industry, maybe the biggest dilemmas that we ever had. What has come through following this fora of discussion is perfectly portrayed in the words of the ancient Greek philosopher Heraclitus, ta πάντα ρει, which means that change is the only constant in life and nothing ever stays the same. We understand this sentiment all too well in the shipping industry. Yet it is precisely in the face of change and uncertainty that meaningful discussions and dialogue become invaluable. Through these discussions, we can collectively chart a course towards a more sustainable and prosperous maritime future. With this in mind, and as I come from a family deeply involved and passionate about shipping with Captain Dimitris Vezadakos as my father and Captain Yana, as I call her, I'm honored to stand before you today, not only as a representative of the shipping industry, but also as the NAIM. Our forum brings together shipping industry leaders, policy makers, social partners, academia regulators, and general stakeholders of the maritime arena to discuss, exchange viewpoints, and share knowledge and know-how among us, and help pass it to the future generation. At this point, I also want to mention how important education and the integration of young shipping in people in shipping is. Through YES Forum, the platform for open dialogue in Greek shipping and sea tourism between executives, school and university students, and recent graduates, which is held under the auspices of the Minister of Shipping, Education, Tourism, and the majority of Greek universities, and of course the Hellenic Chamber of Shipping, we're trying to contribute to the creation of competent executives who will continue to keep our country at the top. In the current academic year alone, we have made physical, live presentations to 100 schools with more than 10,000 students. All this is done with the official approval of the Ministry of Education and Religious Affairs and the Institute of Educational Policy, and we're happy to say that we just received approval for this academic year as well. So let us embrace these discussions with open hearts and open minds. Let us seek solutions, celebrate our achievements, and most importantly, forge connections that will continue to guide our industry through uncharted, unfortunately, waters, for it is in this balance that true progress is achieved. Thank you for being part of this vital conversation, for being here to navigate the change. A special thank you to our moderators and international guests who have traveled from all over the world to be with us today. Most importantly, I would like to thank our gracious sponsors, supporters, family members, and extend our heartfelt gratitude to all of you for your invaluable support. I would like to take a little bit time to mention them because they're very important and we would like to thank them. ABB, Atlas Sea, Austria Card Holdings, Benefit, Crosshold, Cygnus, DNV, Irma First, Ernst & Young, Eurofast, Embassy of Panama, Franman, Golden Union, Golden Cargo, Fortune Technologies, Hill Dickinson, KPMG, Marasco Marine, Marikem Marigassis, Marine Support, Marine Traffic Kepler, Marita Elas, Metropolitan College, Moore, Napa, Njord, Ocean King, Oriani, Palau International Ship Registry, Rich Global Europe, Shipglide Air Lubrication Systems, Sekavin, Swift Marine, the American P&I Club, the Marshall Islands Registry, Port of Thessaloniki, the Swedish Club, Tototeo Maritime, UK P&I, V-Ships, Venlis, Wärtsilä, and last but not least, WIMA, Worldwide Industry and Marine Association, and last but not least, Wingo Suite. Ladies and gentlemen, as we embark on the Navigator Forum, let me finally set the stage with some key thoughts. In a world of constant change, the shipping industry's unique ability to balance adaptation and stability stand out. Challenges like decarbonization and ESG concerns are pressing issues, with climate crisis very present. But we must also ask if we sometimes overanalyze matters with limited impact. Our relationships and partnerships between stakeholders, including politics, society, and the human element, are pivotal. The rules governing our industry are influenced by elected politicians, and collaboration between entrepreneurs and institutions is more than ever essential. The presence of the embassies, of international organizations, students from the merchant marine academies that will drive our vessels, that will keep our shipping #1, and 30 YES Forum volunteers that we thank them very much, underscores the importance of collective effort. We need politicians, academies, schools, universities, shipping companies at the same table to translate agreement into action. We're happy that today we're all here representing 18 out of the 194 countries on a global scale who make global decisions for shipping that moves 90% of the global trade. Only 18 countries are playing a role into this, and we have to convince the other 177 countries to follow us. Everyone agrees to change, but we need actually to do it. Even though at Navigator our job is to represent towing companies and agency providers, and we thank you for your support, we believe that our industry's future lies in our youth, and so we focus on this. We personally speak with them, communicate with them through our events, the Youth Day at Posidonia, visits to schools, presentations. We hear their thoughts, dilemmas, opinions, and we're committed to nurturing their talents, aiming to create a strong youth presence in the sector. The COVID-19 pandemic taught us resilience, but the shipping industry never stopped. And at this point, I would like to make a palamakia, as we say, for the people that they are on board, to send them and thank you for keeping us being who we are, because they were the only people that did not stop even for a minute, so we have to thank them. In conclusion, my statements may be provocative, but I offer them as reflections, not debate points. With these thoughts, let us embark on the Navigator Forum, shaping the future of our industry. Thank you very, very much for being part of this journey. At this point, I would like, it's a great honor to introduce Captain Andreas Panos, the Director for Shipping at the Ministry of Maritime Affairs and Insular Policy. Captain Andreas, welcome, and the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Good morning to all. Your Excellencies, distinguished representatives, ladies and gentlemen. It is a special honor for me to address today such a distinguished audience on behalf of the Minister for Shipping and Insular Policy, Mr. Stylianides, who unfortunately could not attend due to previous commitments. As the Minister's Director for Shipping, I am, however, delighted to open this important forum with some brief opening remarks from the side of the Hellenic Maritime Administration. It is a well-known fact that the maritime sector is one of the most flourishing of the Greek economy that essentially supports Greece remains proudly the world's largest ship-owning nation, with a fleet of more than 5,000 vessels. Greek ship-owners control around 20% of the global deadweight tonnage and around 60% of the EU fleet. The Greek-owned fleet reliably serves the world needs of mass maritime transportation, engaging mostly in industrial, energy, and agricultural goods in the bulk tram sector. In this sense, Greek shipping is an essential enabler for the world economy to keep moving and growing. The past years and months, as Mr. President already mentioned, we have shown very clearly how sensitive and also how important is the transport sector for the world trade economy in terms of ensuring resilient supply chains, creating robust mechanisms to keep vessels running smoothly and safely around the world is vital. It is the fact that the pandemic and more recently the Ukraine crisis rescheduled our priorities once again in recent times. And taking into account the present situation in Israel, it is certain that more difficult times lie ahead of us. Looking now to the future, Greece as a maritime nation places certain priorities with regard to shipping. First, it is decarbonization. Through the recent adoption of IMO's 2023 strategy for the reduction of the greenhouse gas emissions from ships, shipping has committed to the sector decarbonization year 2050. For this to happen, the whole chain of responsibilities should be fairly engaged in a coordinated manner. As a first step, it is crucial to promote, as soon as possible, the worldwide availability of safe, alternative, low-zero carbon fuels and the necessary infrastructure. Now, as we speak, this is not the reality. In order to reach carbon neutral shipping within the agreed timeline, all actors need to work in concert and measures need to target them fairly and comprehensively. That means that measures that are to be adopted should involve and engage all actors in the maritime transport chain in a manner corresponding to their expected contribution to a certain objective. This brings us to a challenge of how to finance the energy transition. Greece believes that a blend of public and private financial instruments will be needed for the revolutionary transformation that lies ahead. Financing tools need to fully address the particularities of shipping. At the same time, revenues from market-based measures should be directed to the decarbonization of shipping as a hard-to-abate sector. Ladies and gentlemen, even though shipping is by far the most environmental friendly means of mass transport, it is a fact that it is often presented to the public as a great polluter, and especially with regard to GHG, emissions as a main contributor to climate change that allegedly denies to make measures for the reduction of its emissions. This is not the case. Greece places great priority to the improvement of the general public image of shipping, which is far from the reality. Unfortunately, the sector's achievements in the field of environmental protection and its vital contribution to ensuring that food, medicine, and other vital goods are delivered to every corner of the world are in general undermined, being largely unknown to the average citizen. For these reasons, the maritime community should make use of the modern technological means and trends to make people acquainted with its commitments and actions for the global society and the protection of the environment, and showcase the enormous importance of shipping for a global transition to green economy and sustainable growth. The improvement of the image of shipping sector is also a prerogative to attract young people to the sea, given the significant shortages expected in the coming years. The shipping industry cannot exist without skilled professionals, whatever level the automation reaches. Therefore, we should focus on creating the leverage necessary to keep these people into the business and attract more young people, given the expected high shortage of population. Last but not least, competitive remains always a priority. At national level, the Greek government, fully consistent to its commitments, has undertaken concrete policy initiatives to maintain the competitive of the Greek flag and at the appropriate governance level, that is, the International Maritime Organization, which is the single shipping dedicated UN organization that has the expertise to ensure the global regulation at all shipping related issues, thus minimizing competitive distortions and ensuring a level playing field for all maritime industry. Thank you once again to the organizers for extending their kind invitation to me and for your attention. We wish as a ministry every success to the forum, the results of which I am sure will provide us with useful insights and constructive proposals to our maritime future. Thank you.
So at this point, it's a great honor to invite the ambassador in the States, the United States ambassador in the United States in Greece. I'm very happy that I'm an alumni of the State Department. I'm twice IVLP. I had the honor to be selected twice by the State Department to represent Greece in a program of State Department, and I'm very happy to be the president of the Hellenic US Alumni Association. They're doing a great job by selecting people from all over the world and showing us how to dream big, and I can assure this. But I'm also first vice president in Propeller Club, Port of Piraeus, which is also our president is a little bit sick today, but I have great friends from the board of directors and governors. So no more words. He has much to say. He's a family to us. Please welcome the United States Ambassador George Tsounis, Your Excellency.
Ξέχασες να πεις who's the honorary president. Άμα μπορείς να το πάρεις. Είναι μια ιδιαίτερη τιμή και χαρά να είμαι μαζί σας. If we Greeks, or in this case a Greek American, are known for anything, it is quoting our ancient philosophers when we want to make a point. And if Diogenes wanted to recognize a family that worked hard, that dreamed big, that accomplished, but did so with honor and integrity and focused on their family, did all the things that we aspire to do for our children, he would undoubtedly lay a lantern at the doorstep of Captain Dimitris and Yana. You have truly gotten all the important things in life right. My good friend, Captain Panayotis Tsakos, είπε, κοίτα κόρης, κοίτα οικογένεια, κοίτα κόρης. Και να σου πω, η εξυπνάδα από μάνα και πατέρα, όμως η αμορφιά από τη Γιάννα. Όμως, Captain Δημήτρη, μεγάλωσες 4 κόρες και έμεινες με τη γυναίκα σου σε ένα σπίτι. If you can navigate bathroom time and shower time with 5 women in the house, we should send you to the United Nations. Now, όποιος δεν έχει κοιμηθεί πολύ ή καλά εχθές το βράδυ, μην ησυχείς, η ομιλία μου θα σε βάλει να κοιμηθείς. Το διάβασα για την πρώτη φορά στο αυτοκίνητο όταν ήρθα εδώ και εγώ είμαι έτοιμος να κοιμηθώ όρθιος εδώ. But it's great to be here at the Navigator Shipping Forum to discuss how to navigate change, the future of the shipping industry and the vital role that the Greek shipping community plays, which is immense globally, the acknowledged global leader in an industry that transports 90% of the global trade is Greek, and you help determine how shipping will be transformed over the next 20 years. And I'm excited about that because I don't come from the diplomatic world, I come from the business world. And those companies, I understand full well that we're dealing with challenges that were created in the past are going to have challenges. And companies and industries that are looking forward decades on how we navigate the change are ones that will be vibrant and successful and outstanding. And that's why I salute the Greek shipping industry, because they always look forward. And that's why they're so dominant and successful in this most important industry. Now, you all remember there was an economic crisis here. It was incredibly unfair on how it was categorized. But karma is interesting, as now Greece has the fastest growing economy in Europe over the last 3 years. They've achieved a primary surplus, and I think they're on the verge of an actual surplus, something that is almost unheard of in this day and age. Investment grade debt, unemployment that's come from 28% to 10%. To say that there is hope is an understatement, as foreign direct investment is reaching record levels. Και όταν λέω οι καλύτερες μέρες στην Ελλάδα είναι μπροστά μας, το έχω πει 18 μήνες. Και το πιστεύω, και να ξέρεις, η Αμερική είναι δίπλα σας. Όταν λέω η Αμερική είναι δίπλα σας, θυμάμαι κάτι ο πατέρας μου είπε. Δεν είναι μόνο λόγια, παιδάκι μου, έργα. Αυτή η εβδομάδα, Scott Nathan, the CEO of the International Developed Finance Corporation, came to Greece. This is someone who is managing $41 billion of global investments. This is the economic diplomacy and economic policy tool of the United States. How we help strategic investments go forward. And we did so this week at Elefsina Shipyard, something that was dead, completely dead. It was tragic Today, and with a large degree of help from the United States, $125 million investment into the shipyard, you have, I think, 8 ships in the shipyard. Something that hasn't been seen in 30 years. The first major ship was a Tsakos ship. And as Captain Panayotis won't say it, I will. He pays a lot more money to refurbish and repair his ships in places like Greece than other options one might have. Τι να σου πω, ο φίλος μου είναι Έλληνας, πατριώτης, και τον σέβομαι. This recapitalization of Elefsinas is a beautiful story, but it combines American capital, 2 American companies, American technology, to revitalize a vital Greek industry. And this combination went from 350 people that were working there to now close to 1,000. And in the next 2 years, a plan to have 3,000 people working at the shipyard and a $2 billion impact on Greek gross domestic product. Και ο πατέρας μου είπε, παιδάκι μου, να μάθεις μια τέχνη, να μπορείς να βάλεις φαγητό στο τραπέζι. Αυτό μετράει στην οικογένεια. Και έχω πάει, I've gone to that shipyard many, many times. And I've spoken to the people that have worked there and now are working full time and they're hiring. And I see the excitement and the hope because they are working and they're able to put food on the table. They walk into their house, they look their family in the eye, and they have dignity and they have pride. And this is the most important thing for our society. This is the work that all of us that are blessed to live in a democracy, blessed to have fortune in our lives, to be able to make sure that we make sure that the dreams and aspirations and hopes for all Greeks, and in fact all people in the world, can be achieved, to make sure that we care about others and that their full measure of potential can be achieved. This is our ethos. This is our philotimo. Putting people back to work. As decision makers in positions of power, we have that responsibility to promote the full inclusion of every person in the workplace, especially those from historically marginalized communities. You know, folks, when my government was stood up 247 years ago, we wanted something that was full of freedoms and principles and values. And it was formed based on those values, those principles that were born right here in Athens. That democracies not only give you greater freedoms, but they generally give you a more vibrant, a richer, safer, more opportunistic life. And we're very fortunate to live in a democracy. But democracy needs to work for everyone. That every person, and we are all imperfect, but we are people who deserve to be valued. Every person deserves to be seen and heard and valued. And we need to make sure that we do not continue to underinvest in large swaths of our population. When the history of this country is written, and the history of this century is written, I don't think it's going to be about Ukraine. I don't think it's going to be about COVID. It's going to be about the emergence of women. You cannot solve the world's great challenges and problems by underinvesting in 50% of our population. We cannot solve climate change and food scarcity without the full measure of our intellectual capacity brought to bear. That we are not a society of hatred and division. That we are a society that embraces possibilities and opportunities and hope and democracy and love and inclusion. That we care about our neighbor, that we support our neighbor. This ethos is not only good for the soul, and it's not only good for civil society, it's good for the bottom line. It's the right thing to do for business. As Greece has gone from a place in the last decade where you couldn't find a job to τώρα δεν μπορείς να βρεις εργάτες. You can't find workers. There are those who have a journey that reminds me of the journey my family undertook. My mother and father left abject poverty, a small village, ορεινή ναυπακτίας, χωρίς ρέμα, χωρίς νερό. Η ντουαλέτα από την άλλη πλευρά τη καλύβα. Το έμαθα αυτό όταν ήρθα στην Ελλάδα την πρώτη φορά όταν ήμουν 7 χρονών και έμεινα σε αυτό το σπίτι. Και ήξερα τι πέρασαν οι γονείς μου. My parents understood war. They understood hunger. They understood poverty. Yet they were able to immigrate to the United States. And they had an opportunity to rebuild their lives. And they were accepted. They didn't go to the United States seeking to destroy the fabric of America. They went seeking a better life. They wanted to do more for their family. Like many of you, they worked hard. They educated their children. And it allowed me to, look, I went to school, I couldn't speak a word of English. I only knew Greek in my house. But a great public school education and a community that accepted us and cared for us allowed me to build a business and stand here before you proudly representing my country in the country in which my parents were raised. This is the ethos of possibility and opportunity. This is the ethos of acceptance. And folks, it worked for the United States. The single greatest economic experiment in the history of the world, close to 8% GDP growth over 200 years is the United States of America. It works. Democracy works. Inclusion works. It gives you a vibrant society, and inclusion also gives you a vibrant economy. We have a shortage here of everything. Healthcare workers, construction workers, tourism workers, people to work on ships, construction workers, farming. Olive oil production will decrease this year because we don't have enough people to do the work that's necessary. You have people that are here, they're living in this country. We can choose to ignore them. They can live in the shadows. Or we can choose to embrace this as an opportunity and a possibility. Let's give them jobs. Jobs that are needed to fulfill the work in this country that will grow the economy. Let's put their kids in school. Let's have them learn Greek. And in 5 to 10 years, they are Greek. They are productive members of society. They're contributing. They're grateful. And they're helping us grow the economy. And an inclusive Greece, an inclusive world, an economically vibrant Greece brings stability to the region. And Greece is a provider of stability to the region. With many arcs of instability that surround this country, Greece acts with principle. They're impactful. Their values. They're always on the right side of history. They are the essential U.S. partner here. They're reliable, and they are the stability provider. I'm proud of the relationship that the United States and Greece has together. but a prosperous Greece means a stable region, which is an incredibly important U.S. interest and Greek interest. So let us do whatever we can to integrate everyone into our society. Let us understand that love is love, and people have the right to love who they want, to be who they are, to be accepted by everyone, and to do so in the construct of complete safety, because that is who we are. Jesus said, I'm not here to judge, I'm here to help. Let's make sure that we eradicate the opportunity deficit that exists. And I say this not as a criticism in Greece. I say we have this challenge in my own country, we have this challenge everywhere, to make sure that everyone, regardless of their station in life, has every opportunity to achieve their full measure. Because when everyone participates, economies grow faster, our societies are stronger, more creative, more prosperous, and more free. And at its core, the promise of democracy, and it's the mark of a great society. And as we make our societies and our economies more prosperous, and we do so against an increasingly complex background, but we need to figure out how to successfully navigate these challenges together. In the challenge of our time, να δουλέψουν όλοι μαζί, να λύσουν τα προβλήματα που έχουν, όλοι μαζί. Και εύχομαι να ξέρεις, είμαι άνθρωπος που από την ημέρα που ήρθα εδώ, δύο πράγματα έχουν γίνει. Το χαμόγελο δεν έχει φύγει από το πρόσωπό μου από την ημέρα που ήρθα στην Ελλάδα. Και εύχομαι κάθε μέρα να κάνω τη δουλειά μου με σεβασμό. Δεν είμαι εδώ να πω ότι οι Έλληνες τι να κάνουν. Ξέρουν πολύ καλά τι να κάνουν. Είμαι εδώ να πω πώς μπορούμε να δουλέψουμε μαζί. Άμα έχουμε ένα πρόβλημα, σε παρακαλώ να καθίσουμε κάτω, να το μιλήσουμε με σεβασμό και συνεγρία. Και θέλω να ξέρω τι είναι τη νόμη σου, πώς να λύσουμε το πρόβλημα. Αυτό μετράει για μένα. Να κάνουμε τη δουλειά μας με σεβασμό. Και νομίζω ξέρετε πόσο αγαπάω αυτό το κράτος. Ήμουν στην Πρέβεζα εκεί, ένα παιδάκι, 8 χρονών. Και ήρθε στο τραπέζι μου και λέει, είσαι ο πρέσβης? Ναι. Και μου λέει, μπορώ να σε ρωτήσω κάτι? Είπα, ναι, βεβαίως. Τι αγαπάς περισσότερο, Αμερική ή Ελλάδα? Και είπα, θα σου πω κάτι που έχω πει χιλιάδες φορές προτού έγινα πρέσβης. Προτού έγινα πρέσβης. Αγαπάω την Αμερική σαν τον πατέρα μου. Αγαπάω την Ελλάδα σαν τη μάνα μου. We have a lot of challenges in front of us. Russia has tried to change sovereign lines by force. Unbelievable in this day and age that an autocrat or anyone would think that they should be able to change territory by force. And I'm proud of how everyone united against it. We cannot let this stand. Because this issue, as important as it is with Ukraine, is even much bigger. To allow this to stand, what other autocrat may think that he can do the same thing to another country? There is a rules-based international order that has governed this continent for 8 decades. We need to make sure that it is restored and understood by everyone. Sovereignty is inviolable. It speaks to the dignity of nations and the dignity of people, and we will not allow Russia to succeed. It was Greece that once again acted with principle. The counterpoint, the indispensable NATO ally, the one with shared democratic values, who was the second country to sanction Russia for its act of aggression. And it was difficult. It was very difficult. Principles sometimes have a cost. But a country like Greece understands that. When we celebrate VE Day, the Victory in Europe Day, I'm constantly reminded that in Greece, they don't celebrate the victory of that war. They celebrate the entry of the war. Because when fascism was taking over Europe and the world had lost hope, it was the Greeks with determination and principle to do the hard work that scored the first Allied victory over the Axis power and gave the world hope. Greeks understand that they have an ethos. Έχουν φιλότιμο. Θα κάνουν τα πράγματα που είναι δύσκολα. Because you always are on the right side of history. And I don't think the world always understands the Greek ethos and the Greek philotimo, but I do. And I do my very best to bring our countries closer together, because I believe that Greece's collective security, that their vibrancy, that their economy, and that society at its very core benefits with its relationship with the United States. Folks, no country has ever done well being with Russia, I assure you. When people tell me that democracy is an outmoded form of governance, I said, well, you know, the Greeks have had indoor plumbing 1,000 years before the English language was invented. I think they understand what form of government, the one that they invented, works best. But I will tell you, no one is trying to move to Russia. No one is trying to move to Venezuela, and Iran does not have an immigration problem. People are trying to move to Greece. They're trying to move to the United States because they understand that we are places and societies that give people opportunities and a safer, more vibrant way of life. And I hope that everyone, including 117 million people that are displaced, 50% of which are children, can also find places of safety to raise their families in a place without community violence or war or oppression, so they too can realize their full potential. I want to thank you all for your participation in the Russian oil cap. It's important. I know sometimes these things are a moving target and they're a little ambiguous, but it's important. We have to cut off Putin's ability to do harm, and that's cutting off his money. This is not a good actor. So the work that you do eliminates his capability or lessens substantially his capability of doing harm. And that is a very good day's work and very, very important. Greece is a country that has 50% of their energy coming from renewables. By the end of the decade, it will be 80%. Top 10 country and leader, it's leading the way. We talk about how the Greek shipping industry is so immense that if it were a country, it would be the 8th largest carbon emitter. Greece has taken great efforts, this industry has taken great efforts to minimize that and to green the industry. I am in meetings every day with this industry, and I see the work and the seriousness that they put into that effort. There will not be a solution to any challenge without the Greek shipping industry present, nor another one of our priorities to integrate the Balkans into Europe. That will not be possible without Greek leadership and Greek economic diplomacy. Greece is the essential ally in the region. It's incredibly important. That's why they're hosting next year's Our Oceans Conference. They're making great strides in this industry. I want to express my gratitude for the concrete and significant actions this industry and the government is taking to support maritime conservation, sustainable development. You joined the Green Shipping Challenge at COP27. You're committed to zero-emission shipping by 2050, the action plan to decarbonize the domestic coastal ferry ships, and reducing emissions at 6 major ports. We cannot craft solutions without you. I want to thank you for the important role that you play in strengthening the U.S.-Greece relationship. It is an honor to be here for you today. Please keep in mind, I did tell you that this speech was going to be the cure for insomnia today, so I do apologize. Thank you very much.
Before starting our panel, we would like to give the microphone to Captain Tsakos to say two words, 2-3 words, just to welcome the conference, Captain Παναγιώτη. Αφού σας έχουμε κοντά μας, θέλουμε να σας ακούσουμε λίγο. Να μην... Λειτουργεί. Το έχουμε ανοίξει το μικρόφωνο.
Ναι, τώρα...
Ναι.
Τώρα με τακτοποιήσατε. Μετά τον Γιώργο το Τσούνι θα βγάλω λόγο εγώ. Ευχαριστώ. Εγώ τι να πω, εγώ τα είπα πριν έρθω. Τα είπα ερχόμενος, σας εκαμάρωσα, σας ευλόγησα, σας ευχαρίστησα. Δεν ζήτησα συγγνώμη που άρχισα, αλλά είδατε έβαλα τα καλά μου να έρθω, μέχρι ποδήλατο βρήκα και ήρθα μηχανοκίνητος από το γραφείο μου. Ευλογημένοι να είστε.
Να είστε και εσείς.
Ελπίζω αυτά που θα ποθούν εδώ να κρατηθούν σαν παρακαταθήκη και για μας και για τα παιδιά μας και για τους νεότερους. Είναι δύσκολο κανείς να περιγράψει και να προβλέψει το μέλλον του κόσμου και της δικιάς μας βιομηχανίας και της δικιάς μας δουλειάς. Η δικιά μου αγωνία επί δεκάδες χρόνια είναι η έλλειψη ανθρώπων για την ναυτιλία, η έλλειψη Ελλήνων για την ναυτιλία. Καμάρωσα τη θέση σας για την γυναίκα, για το ρόλο της γυναίκας. Έχουμε το προνόμιο να έχουμε πολύτιμο ανθρώπινο υλικό, σχεδόν στο γραφείο τουλάχιστον, σχεδόν μοιρασμένο μεταξύ ανδρών και γυναικών. Έχουμε την εξαιρετική τιμή και ίσως και πρόνοια, κάθισε καπτάνια, να έχουμε γυναίκες καπετάνισσες και να προτιμάμε ακόμα και από τους δοκίμους τις καπετάνισσες. Και τις αξιωματικές. Τις αξιωματικίνες περισσότερο από τους αξιωματικούς. Έχουμε, όπως ξέρετε, δημιουργήσει στοιχείο ιδιωτική, μη κερδοσκοπική σχολή ΕΠΑΛ, το οποίο ανακηρύχθηκε από το Υπουργείο Παιδείας πρότυπων με προοπτική να ανακηρυχθεί, να αναγνωριστεί σαν ναυτική ακαδημία. Και έτσι, κύριε Ναύαρχε, εγώ όταν μου ξεφεύγει η γλώσσα μου είναι ευχή και συνήθως πραγματοποιείται. Εμείς λοιπόν έχουμε φτιάξει στο σχολείο αυτό το ΕΠΑΛ, το οποίο δίνει το δικαίωμα στους δοκίμους νέους να γίνουν αξιωματικοί, με τη διαφορά ότι χρειάζονται 2 χρόνια υπηρεσία και όχι 1 που χρειάζονται στις ναυτικές ακαδημίες, αλλά αυτό μάλλον καλό τους κάνει παρά κακό. Και έτσι έχουμε και από εκεί ανθρώπους που έρχονται για την ναυτιλία. Αυτή τη στιγμή στα πλοία μας υπάρχουν 83 Έλληνες δόκιμοι, περισσότερα κορίτσια παρά αγόρια. Προτιμούμε τα κορίτσια διότι όταν έρχονται στη θάλασσα έρχονται επειδή είναι όνειρο ζωής. Ενώ τα αγόρια καμιά φορά, για να μην πω τις πιο πολλές, έρχονται στη θάλασσα αν αποτύχουν αλλού. Αυτό το σύστημα το ξέρετε. Και μας απασχολεί, κύριε Πρέσβη, αγαπητέ μου Γιώργο, μας απασχολεί το θέμα το δημογραφικό στην πατρίδα μας. Και επειδή μας απασχολεί πάρα πολύ αυτό. Αλλά
θα τα φτιάξουμε όλα.
αυτό
όλοι μαζί.
Τι να κάνουμε εμείς.
Εσείς είσαστε πάντα εδώ και μας τα λέτε και ευχαριστούμε πάρα πολύ.
Ευχαριστώ εγώ.
Να έχουμε ένα όμορφο συνέδριο και ας τα ξεκινήσουμε. Ευχαριστούμε πάρα πολύ όλους.
Ευχαριστούμε τον Καπταπαναγιώτη που είναι κοντά μας. Your Excellency, Mr. George Tsounis, thank you very much for being with us today. It is our great honor always to have you with us. Stand by us, we need you.